Are you guys familiar with this? How about this, and this? As a student, these artworks have always been present in our history and art textbooks. Some of the most recognizable art in the entirety of human history was created by this country. And if Egypt was the first thing that you thought of, then you are right. Ancient Egyptian art includes painting, sculpture, architecture, and other forms of art such as drawings on papyrus created between 3000 BCE and 100 CE. And while we marvel at the glittering treasures from the tomb of Tutankhamun, the sublime reliefs in New Kingdom tombs, and the serene beauty of Old Kingdom statuary, it is imperative to remember that the majority of these works were never intended to be seen. That was simply not their purpose. The function of Egyptian art was twofold. First, to glorify the gods, including the pharaoh, and facilitate human passage into the afterlife. Second, to assert, propagandize, and preserve the values of the day. Essentially, the purpose of their artworks was bound with religion and ideology. To render a subject in art was to give it permanence. Therefore, ancient Egyptian art portrayed an idealized, unrealistic view of the world. In ancient Egyptian culture, they were polytheistic, which meant that they believe in a lot of gods. They have a creation myth, they have an afterlife that they believed in, and believed in the idea of resurrection. Because of this mythology, their art is heavily tied to it. Ancient Egyptian art was typically created to be important pieces of tombs and temples, so the deceased, especially important pharaohs or other noble people, could carry on in the afterlife. For example, small sculptures of slaves, animals, buildings, and other objects like boats were considered necessary in tombs for kings to continue their lifestyle and hold these important possessions beyond death. What is striking also about Egyptian art is that text accompanies almost all images. In statues, the identifying text will appear on a back pillar supporting the statue or on the base. Relief or paintings usually have captions or longer texts that elaborate and complete the story in the scenes. Paintings and panels are frequently accompanied by hieroglyphs. Hieroglyphs were the formal writing system used in ancient Egypt for writing the Egyptian language. Some stand for an object or concept which we call logographic, which is a graphic that represents a word.
Now, have you ever wondered what happened to history during the rise of the Egyptian period? Let us go back in time and explore the three major periods of Egyptian history. First, we have the Old Kingdom, followed by the Middle Kingdom, and then the New Kingdom. The Old Kingdom is also known as the Pyramid Age. The creation of pyramids started during this era. The Step Pyramid was the first great work of architecture in stone. The workers of these pyramids are truly skillful. Or was it the aliens all along? The Middle Kingdom is known as the Golden Age. This is when the peak of the Egyptian art took place. From the paintings to the sculptures, the Egyptian art was progressively improving during these times. Jewelries became a trend among noble women. So if you're not noble enough to afford these shiny objects, you will be judged. It was the rise of the New Kingdom when the Egyptian Empire conquered most of the lands. The Egyptian Empire became more and more powerful as it conquered one land and another. Remember this guy? Yep, he lived during the New Kingdom. Now, let us get to know the famous Egyptian artists during the ancient times, though we never heard of them before. First on the list is Thutmose, the royal sculptor during the New Kingdom. He was the one who molded the bust of Nefertiti, a great royal wife of Pharaoh Akhenaten. It was likely just a model created by him to use as a reference for the other royals' head sculpture. The name Nefertiti means the beautiful woman has come. No wonder why Thutmose chose her as his model. Next on the list is Khufu, ruler during the Old Kingdom. Archaeologists believe that he was the one who designed the Great Pyramid of Giza. What inspired him to build such immense structure? Simply to outdo his father, the pharaoh. Now we have Senenmut, an architect during the New Kingdom. As the royal chief architect, he was responsible for every major building projects during his time. This includes Pharaoh Hatshepsut's tomb complex. It was said that Pharaoh Hatshepsut and Senenmut had a secret affair.
Latest tea, my fellow Mosa.
Let's move on to the ancient Egyptian artworks. When we hear the word artwork, we immediately associate it with painting. Here are some examples of ancient Egyptian paintings. Lintel of Amenemhati and Deities is an example of painting about deities. Guide to the Afterlife for Amenemwija is an example of funerary painting. The ancient Egyptian art installations are also highly regarded.
Ancient Egypt undoubtedly has one of the most wonderful architectures in the world. One of it is the Great Pyramid of Giza. It is recognized as one of the 7 wonders of the world, and the 3 pyramids of Giza were built as tombs by 3 kings of ancient Egypt. And we also have the Great Sphinx of Giza, a statue of the mythical creature known as the Sphinx. In Egyptian mythology, the Sphinx was a creature with the body of a lion and the head of a human.